So with the clip I showed you just a minute ago, if you're having this effect where your skates are sort of leaning on the inside edges, they're not standing up straight as they should, they're leaning inwards. The effects or the reasons that this can happen is split into different categories. We're going to start off with the main one, which is the size. The size ties down to two different areas: the length of the skate and the width of the skate. These two different things, if they're incorrect, will definitely sort of contribute to your skates leaning inward that we showed you earlier on, which can result in loads of different things. Number one, it will seriously restrict your skating on the ice. It can be very, very uncomfortable and painful, as you'll get cuts on the outside of your ankles because the lid of the skate is digging into your ankles, which can be incredibly painful and annoying. The second one is going to be the laces. Are you doing the laces up correctly? Are you doing them properly enough so the structure of the skate supports your foot and your ankle the way it should while you're on the ice? So we'll also look at that. And the next one is definitely going to be the stiffness of the boot itself. Is the boots that you have a correct level for you? Are you a 6 foot person that weighs about 13 stone that's using a pair of Vapor X 1.0s? Because if you are, then the skates are too soft, and that's the reason that they'll be leaning in. So we're going to come to all of these different points and give you some tips on how you can resolve this and be much more comfortable while you're on the ice. So the first point we're going to come to is definitely going to be the length. So if the length of your skates is wrong, that's going to, as we said, contribute to your skates sort of leaning on the inside edges and making it very difficult for you to move on the ice. The way you can check from home if your skate length is off, if you're not sure, is, as you can see, my skates are on my feet, but the laces aren't done up completely. The laces are pretty much completely done, completely loosened, so the tongue can slip completely open. This is exactly how I'd have them if I was taking my foot in and out of the skates. Now what you want to do from this point is then kick against something. For example, we've got this edge over here. I'm going to kick against the edge to push my feet or my toes right to the end of the toe box inside the skate. Now what that's going to do is expose any free space I have behind my heel. And what you want to do is sort of, it's the finger rule, think of it as that, but no dirty jokes. I'll explain exactly how it works. You want to get two fingers, put them back to back like so over there, and slip them down the back of the heel. I'll show you a close-up picture of exactly what I'm doing over here. And if you're going down the back of the heel and you can feel that there's more than enough space behind there, so you can get two fingers in easily. If you can get three fingers in there, then the skates are definitely too big for you. You want to be able to fit down the back of the skate, around the heel, behind your heel, 1 finger to 2 fingers max, and that should be the maximum amount of space you should have in the skate. If you can fit any more than that, then the skates that you have are far too big, and that could be one of the reasons that they're leaning on the inside edges. The next point, of course, is going to be the width of the skate. The width is a bit tricky to test, but I will put in the video description a link to a video that shows you how to check your length and size feet from home, and also the width most importantly. But the way you do that is lace your skates up the way you'd be if you're jumping on the ice, and then just simply try and slip your hand down the side. If your hand slips down the side there nice and easily with the skates tied up, the skates are too wide. Or if you're on the ice and you can feel your leg, or your feet rather, knocking side to side inside the skate, again, they're going to be too wide for you. But keep in mind that there will be a bit of space if they're a brand new pair of skates, because you'll need to break them in, which will allow the skates to contour to the shape of your foot, filling the unnecessary empty space inside the skate. But if this is exaggerated, if there is a ridiculous amount of space inside there, your feet are knocking around, the skates are too wide for you. Another point that I will mention is don't double up with socks. You can wear a thick pair of socks, one thick pair of socks, but if you wear 2 pairs of thin socks, all that does is just increases your chances of getting blisters inside the skate, because it's more material to rub against the inside of the skate and your skin. So keep those points in mind. So now taking a look at the width of the skate, as we said, if you want to know if it's too wide for you, you can see that I've done my skates up. This is exactly how it'd be if I was going to jump on the ice. And what you want to do is just see if you can slip your hand down the side there. My hand stops here. I can't go any further because my ankle bone is right up against the foams on the inside of the skate, which is a good sign. And another reason I like these pumps is if you do have a bit of extra width on the sides, you can just simply pump the skate up and it will fill the empty space up a bit more, giving you a more responsive skate and a much more custom fit. But if you don't have pumps and you've got your skates on and you're feeling down the side of the skate, if you can get your hand sort of past the ankle bone and you're still going down, and you can feel that, you know, you're sort of knocking around inside the skate, side to side there, then you've probably got too much space. These are brand new skates, first time I've put them on the ice today, and you can see that they are contouring to my shape, the shape of my foot fairly well. There's not a lot of sort of unnecessary space inside the skate, and I cannot get my hand down there, so this is a good indication that these are a good size in terms of the width. So just keep these points in mind. So we're going to also take a look at the laces, because this can also be a big problem. If the skates aren't laced up correctly, this can lead to your skates leaning inwards and making it difficult to skate. So of course, taking a look at the laces, you can see my laces are completely undone. This is how it'd be if I was going to take my foot out. It comes out nice and easy. So the first thing you want to do when you're tightening up your laces is get your lace bite bar, or in terms of what the whole thing is called is the tongue. Get that nice and sort of center to your foot. And then you want to start from the bottom and just pull the laces nice and tight as you're working your way up. You can see that if I just let the laces go, they sort of unravel. You can get wax laces to prevent this from happening, but I don't mind this because I can sort of pull them up really, really quickly as I'm holding on to one side, which kind of helps. So I just hold on to the sides like that, which kind of helps a little bit. You want to work your way all the way to the top. The good thing about the Reebok pump skates is that they have a lace locking system about halfway up the skates laces, which makes it easy because once you get to the top and you're sort of comfortable with that tightness, which I am, you can see that this is sort of done up quite fairly tightly. There's not a lot of slack in the laces there. The last little bit that you need to do is just pull these bits here, and then you can lock them into place. And now those laces are now locked, as you can see right there, and it doesn't matter what I do, they're not going to come out unless I undo the lace lock system, which is really nice. So you can take your time tightening up the top portion of the skate, as the bottom part's locked and isn't going to go anywhere. But just as we're moving forward, you can see that I'm tightening these up quite a lot. I'm still making sure that my tongue can move back and forth, because regardless of what anyone's told you, your foot or your ankle needs to be able to flex forward and backwards freely inside your skate. That's why wrapping the laces round creates some problems, but personal preference and all that, I'm sure you guys have heard me say that plenty of times. So once you get to the top, the last bit to do is just to make sure that you've done them up tightly enough so you can see that these aren't sort of protruding outwards towards the sides. There's very minimal empty space inside the top portion of my leg over here around the ankle. I'll show you a picture from above so you can see exactly what I mean. There's not a lot of unnecessary empty space there, which is what you want because the structure of the skate is now supporting your ankle properly. And once you get over here, I like to sort of tighten it up, hold it there, and just make sure that this part can still move backwards and forwards nice and freely to make sure that I'll still be able to get nice agility while I'm on the ice. Last point, of course, is to do the actual laces up themselves, however you feel comfortable. Do them up, and sometimes I like to tie it again depending on how much lace is left sort of dangling outside the boot, just to make sure that nothing's going to touch the ice. So you can sort of just tuck this in over the laces over there, or you can put it down the side here just to make sure that it doesn't get in the way. But this is sort of just a quick idea of the way that your laces should be done up. You can see that the skates don't punch out to the sides over here. They're nice and done up securely so that there is minimal empty space inside my skate, supporting my ankle and my foot properly, which is definitely an important point. But as you can see, I can still lean forward. My tongue can still move backwards and forwards to allow me to take my tight turns and get a good range of motion while I'm on the ice. So the next point is definitely going to be the skate's stiffness. This is a point that is seriously overlooked when people are buying skates. It's either down to the fact that they just buy online and don't really go into a hockey store to get advice or proper help and sizing to be able to judge what sort of skates will be appropriate for them. A quick example is that I'm at Riverside Ice and Leisure, which is the ice rink here in Chelmsford, Essex, and while we were on the ice, somebody went past me. They were much, much taller than me. I'm only about 5'6", 5'7". This guy went past me. He was at least 6 foot. He wasn't that built, but he was incredibly tall, and he was wearing a pair of Vapor X 1.0s. For somebody his build, he shouldn't be wearing those skates because they're simply not stiff enough for the sort of skater that he is, the sort of size and build he is, and they're not going to be able to offer him the correct amount of support. If the skate doesn't offer you the right amount of support, it will simply fold. The quarter package, which is the actual side structure of the skate, will simply fold while you're leaning into it to turn, to stop, and that will cause you to sort of lean inwards on your inside edges, which is not what you want. So you need to make sure that the skates that you select are going to be appropriate for your stiffness. If you want help with this, there'll be a link to the website forum where you can post questions, you can give me information about what build you are, how tall you are, how often you'll be skating, and what you'll be using them for, if it's skating or hockey, etc., which will help me sort of be able to identify which will be the correct skate for yourself. Second to that, there'll also be a video that I've posted. The link will be in the video description, which is solely about selecting your pair of skates and selecting the right stiffness skate. So these are some of the points that you need to keep in mind while you're picking a pair of skates to make sure that you avoid all of these issues. And most importantly, if you avoid these issues, you're going to save yourselves a hell of a lot of money in the long run, because if the skates are too big for you or too wide or not the correct stiffness, you're going to need to replace them, which is going to cost. So hopefully this video has highlighted some of the points that you can keep in mind to avoid some of these problems, and if you are experiencing some of these problems, then now you've probably got the solutions to be able to rectify them. It's unfortunate to say that if the skates are sort of leaning in on the inside edges, as we showed you the example at the start of the video, and you've gone through these points and you find that the skate is too wide or too or lengthy for you or long for you, the sort of solutions that you can do to kind of rectify this problem, if it's not too extreme, is you can bake the skate. That sort of helps to have the skate sort of take to the shape of your foot a bit better and reduce the empty space inside the skate. But if it's too much, this process is going to be pointless, as you're still going to experience the same effect. So unfortunately, you're going to need to buy a different pair of ice hockey skates, but hopefully go through the different tips that I've given you to select a more appropriate pair. So hopefully this video has been helpful for anyone that needed to sort of get advice on this problem. As always, if you need any help, please post a forum post question in the website. The link will be down below to the forum. I don't check the YouTube channel every day, so the best place to catch me is on the forum page, as you'll get a much quicker response to any questions you may have. I'm recording at Riverside Ice and Leisure, which is the ice rink in Chelmsford. Be sure to check out their Skateside skating events for freestyle skaters. Anyone's welcome, and that's on Fridays. The details of that will be in the video description as always. This is Chris from Hockey Tutorial. Be sure to follow the ice rink Riverside Ice and Leisure on Twitter, and also follow myself on Twitter and Facebook. All of the links will be down below. Take care till next time, and thanks for watching as always.